led to violence, a road rage kind of scenario where someone could have gotten hurt? How do you avoid? What steps do you take to make sure that something like that doesn't happen? And we're talking on the backdrop of that very, very unfortunate 10 of events which happened out in Emmarentia this past Sunday, where one person lost their life, and I think one person is currently hospitalized. And road rage seems to be a thing here in South Africa. It seems to be happening more oftentimes than not, and you just wonder why people can't just let things go. As I mentioned, we have Ashref, who's joining us via virtual platform. Very, very good friend of the show, and is also the founder and chief facilitator at FleetMax DriiveSMART. Ashref, salamu alaikum. Hope you can hear me now.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, Silailu, I was wondering, I can see you, but there's no voice coming through. No sound at all. Good to be with you. It's been a long time, eh?
No, the pleasure is all ours, and I'm really, really sad that you're joining us in very unfortunate circumstances. What we saw pin out in Emmarentia this past Sunday. Just give us insight on a situation like that. If one is caught up in it, how do you let it go? How do you de-escalate it to a point where we don't see what happened this past Sunday happen?
Yes, absolutely vital. You know, in your introduction, Sililo, you mentioned we're starting to see more and more road rage incidences in the country, and this is going to become worse. I think as a country, we are probably more polarized now than we have ever been before. There's a lot of angry people. There are many frustrated people. There are people who have no jobs. Crime is up. Cost of living is going up, and all that anger. You might think you've got issues. You might think that you're angry. You might think that you've got major challenges in life until you are confronted by somebody who's in a worse predicament that you are. So I think the core message that we need to get into, and you'll find a lot of professional self-defense courses, as well as the America's Navy SEALs, the Marines, as they call them. They are the most elite of elite. They are taught, and I come from a law enforcement background as well, Sililo. And the one thing we've always been taught is de-escalate. Do not engage. You use the correct word, de-escalate. It's very difficult. It's very difficult because as humans, especially the male species, we want to be macho. We want to prove ourselves. I want to teach him a lesson. I'll fix him up. It can all end very, very badly. Like I said, you don't know in what mental state of mind the other person is. You don't know whether or not he's abusing alcohol or abusing substances or something like that. And you now create a confrontational situation on the road purely because he cut you off, because he's tailgating. He didn't indicate, or there was a slight, like you saw, bumper basher, and things escalate so quickly. Rule number one: do not engage, right? Doesn't matter what happened. Let's understand that you are humans. All of us make mistakes. Nobody is perfect. Let's just accept it, swallow our anger, swallow our pride, and just don't even, if it doesn't matter how angry you are, do not make eye contact, do not show any gestures, do not show flip the finger, do not hoot, do not get, just don't do anything. You know, Sililo, I always tell, I've done a couple of interviews now, and I'm going to mention this on Salam Media as well. There's a guy on Facebook, his name is Ken Kihu, and I would like our viewers to write his name down. Ken, as in Ken. The moment you search for his name, Ken, all his video clips will come up. Now, let me give you a little background about him. And I've learned so much around the issues. I mean, we do advanced defensive driver training, we do hijack prevention, we do road rage training, etc. And this guy, I think I learned more from his little short clips than I've done reading and studying and researching on the issue of road rage. He's from Kenya originally. He's running an Uber business in the United States. And amazingly, he's got a simple thing called, you mentioned it earlier, you actually mentioned it as well. How do you let it go? In fact, he has made a mantra out of it that when you drive in the vehicle, right, what is your objective? Your objective is to reach your destination safely with no drama, no trauma, no agony, no ecstasy. So that being the case, Just whatever happens on the road, whatever altercation, whatever confront, let it go. Three words: let it go. That's it. Swallow your anger, swallow your pride. Is it more important? He asks the question constantly: do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Instead of happy, I would just change that word and say, do you want to be right or do you want to be safe? That is so important. Bearing in mind that in South Africa, we have lots and lots of racial tension. We've got lots of anger. We've got lots of people who are angry with government, with the corruption, with all sorts of things. And then you just happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time and it can explode. So rule number one, don't engage, do not respond. And most importantly of all, do not get out of your vehicle. There are people now, the traffic light is red, and the guy at the back starts hooting at you that he feels you too slow taking off the red light. You'll find the guy in front opens the door like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What are you? Do not get out of your car. The moment you do that, you are actually putting yourself now in a point of no return. Because if he gets out of his car as well, assuming it's two males, it can end very, very badly.
What do you do now when you're the one that's been approached? When someone is banging on your door, someone is, kicking at your fender or, harassing you. You try as much as you can not to engage and make sure that the situation doesn't escalate. Do you just sit in your car, call authorities? Are there any measures to take at that point when you feel like, okay, I'm being threatened here and my life might be at risk?
So, Sililo, that is such an important question. Again, number one, you remain in your car, lock the doors, close the windows. Do not engage with him. Be quiet. Just be quiet. Who's right and who's wrong? It's not the right time. Remember, he's super angry. He's over. He's not going to stand for reason, whatever. By you just being quiet. And many of people at this time, you'll be tempted to make a recording of him. That's going to escalate things as well. It's going to make him more. He's going to be provoked by it. He's going to feel now he has to put up a thing, whatever. Just be quiet. Remember again, yes, you might need, if I always tell people, if you can afford a little dash cam, it's a lovely investment to have, one facing outward, one facing inward. It's there for your protection, even when you being approached by a corrupt traffic officer or something. But have one of these things there, but don't put it in his face. Sometimes it can work that when you
Mm,
point a camera at somebody, they automatically black off because they know this could go viral. It can mean the end of my career, my end of the reputation, etc., etc. But whatever you do, you do not get out of the car. You do not say anything. Do not say a word. Do not even look at him. Don't even look at him. And I hope that you are not boxed into a situation where you can't reverse and get out of there. Because the ideal
mm,
situation would be that don't drive in such a way. Always, that's why we call it the cushion of safety. Drive in such a way that you never ever get boxed up. If you get boxed up, make sure you got an opportunity to escape to the left or to the right by reversing. And that would hopefully, sort of de escalate the issue, if you like.
Um, let's talk about a situation like the one that we saw pan out in Emmarentia, having young kids in the car. How important is it also to act accordingly because there are children in the car, and ultimately that situation went very very violent. And it became what we're seeing today, where one person has lost their lives and one person is in the hospital, and people might get arrested for a very very long time. Having children in the car, how cognizant must we be of that reality?
So, Sililo, without trying to speculate, because, we saw it on going viral. We've seen all the keyboard warriors. Everyone is an expert on this issue, etc. But if you read through all the comments, you see most of the people have been making the right comments. And the one thing is that the moment children are involved, you need to be extra, extra careful. You need to be circumspect. Remember, never mind a road rage issue, even driving recklessly, negligently, etc. Those things are not on normally. When children are, that is much more dangerous because remember, they are innocent parties. They have nothing to do with your driving behavior, your conduct on the road, amongst other road users, etc. They are totally, absolutely innocent. I mean, again, we're not going to reflect on what happened there. Yes, we can
Mm,
reflect, but it's not for us to speculate. The law will take its course. We make lots and lots of dua that the Almighty grant serenity and strength to the survivors. And all all of us, because this is a wake up call to all of us, Elilo. Because let's be honest, even myself as a trainer who goes around preaching the issues of being careful about issues around road rage, we get caught up in it. When a minibus taxi driver cuts you off, you suddenly want to hoot at him. Sometimes I always say we need to exercise some empathy. I will
Mm,
never ever, I come from a law enforcement background, I will never condone a taxi or anybody for that matter drive through a red light, overtaking on a barrier line, or driving in a yellow lane. Those things are all non negotiable. They are fatal transgressions which can always end up very, very badly. However, we must always ask ourselves this. Look at it this way, right? You driving in your luxurious car, in your comfortable air condition with the lovely radio playing, and sitting on a leather seated upholstered vehicle. And now you got a whole group of about 16 to 22 passengers sitting overcrowded in a minibus taxi who are all just trying to get and reach their destinations before they get fired by their boss for being late yet again. So you've been
mm,
inconvenienced by a couple of seconds, maximum maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Just like Ken Kihu would say, let it go. Let it go. Putting your hand on the hooter, hooting incessantly, flipping the finger. What are you going to achieve? So you want to teach somebody a lesson, isn't it? I'll fix him up. I'll block his path. I'll do this. What exactly have you achieved? This says 160,000 minibus taxi drivers. We know, we would say the majority of them are like really bad, right?
mm,
So you taught one guy a lesson. In fact, the moment you were out of the way, he went back into the yellow lane and he carried on. So you achieved nothing. All you did was you created a volatile situation that could have ended badly. It's just
mm,
by the stroke of luck and by the mercy of the Almighty that things couldn't have gone, that didn't go bad. So again, very important. When you have children in the car, think, 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 think. I mean, the cries of that children still ring in my ears. They're going to be scarred for life. They're going to need psychological and trauma counseling. It is the worst thing that any child has to. Once you introduce weapons into the thing, people are going to become defensive. People are going to start wanting to react to such a situation. You're angry, and like I said, we need to go back to the Ubuntu that we as South
mm.
Africans just let it go, and just tell the guy, sharp, I'm fine, I'm fine. I think we need to start a campaign. Maybe Salam Media must initiate and
Yeah.
pilot. We are fine. You fine, Chief, I'm fine. Don't worry. You cut me off, it's okay, it's fine. Let's just do that and see if we can begin to change as a nation. Because remember something, Silelo, agree, we meet on this thing called the public space, which is a public road. So all that
Yes.
anger that has been manifesting, all your perceptions, your challenges, etc. Where do we take it out? And the bigger your vehicle, you got a big bull bar and spotlights, and you think you own the road. You see now, that's that
Or
mentality
you have
has
a
to change.
taxi. Last question before I let you go. We are running out of time, Ashraf.
Yeah.
Firearms. We're seeing more and more motorists get guns. This is obviously to try and protect themselves because of the scourge of crime, as you mentioned. People
Yeah.
are getting hijacked. How do you go about containing your gun in your car? Because some people now see it as a necessity, but sometimes it leads to situations like we saw this past weekend pan out.
So very simple. The law requires that if you have you or you must be in possession of a licensed firearm. Number one, that goes without saying. Number two, it must be concealed on your person at all times. And number three, if you're going to remove it from you and you're going to put it in somewhere in your vehicle, it must be in a sealed and a kind of a safe that is built into the vehicle. And it must be lockable. So those are requirements by law. Mina, I want to add one more thing, Sililo, and that is that if you're going to, we were always trained by our mentors and our instructors that if you're gonna, don't remove your gun unless you are going to use it. So this thing about
Mm,
I'm going to shoot in the ground and I'm shoot in the air and I'm going to just use it as a warning thing is not on. Remain calm. The thing is, yes, as you correctly say, because of the scourge of crime, everybody wants to arm themselves. Be aware of how to use it. That thing will give you strength you don't normally have. So sometimes if you don't have it, it's better. Just don't get engaged. And remember what Ken Kehoe says, let it go.
Let it go, and I'm going to be letting you go, Ashraf. Ke that I hope we chat again soon. And I think very, very important insights that you shared with our audience there. And yeah, man, let it go. Hope we see less and less of these road rage incidences on our roads. Really appreciate your time.
You're most welcome and keep it safe. Don't forget to buckle up. Thanks so much, Silalo. We'll chat again.
I mean, there you go. Fleet Smart and Chief Facilitator at Fleet Smart and DriiveSMART, Ashref Ismail, giving us very, very important insights there on how to deal with road rage. And I think the key message there is one, just let it go. It's a bump. You don't have to lose your life over it. Someone cut you off. You don't have to go crazy over it. Just break, calm down, start your car and get to your destination as safely as you can. You can engage with us. Our studio line is 01168000355 or 061 those are contact details. You can also comment on our various social media platforms. How do you deal with road rage? How do you deal with a situation where you've been cut off or someone nearly bumped you or someone, jumped a stop sign when you're about to go through? Do you try to be patient? Do you, I don't know, try escalate the situation because your point must get across and you must teach them a lesson? What measures do you take in a situation like this one? But I think the key message from Ashraf there, and I think all of us need to take with us, especially when we're about to go home or we're still on our way to our jobs this morning, is just let it go. It's not worth it. You have a family, you have a wife, you have children, you have a husband, you have a mother and a father, people that love you and people that wouldn't want to see you coming back because of a road rage incident. Going to take a quick break. News and views continues after this.